What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Just, back in another video. This is your one-stop shop for anime and manga. Let's get into it. Alright, I want to start by saying thank you to everyone who's been subscribing. If you're new here and you like my content, you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing, leaving a like, hit the bell so you know I post another video. Now, let's get into my new one. Now, I'll be honest, I got a little burnt out from reading manga, where I didn't really read as much as I did. I was only really reading my weekly manga chapters, and then that was it. I wasn't going forward to read anything new or read anything that I had picked up. Until recently, I started reading some of the new physical manga that I had picked up, and I just really started falling in love with the genre again. I just really enjoy reading manga again. It really rejuvenated my love for it. So I'm just here to share with you some of the different manga that I've actually just been loved reading recently. And these are necessarily not my all-time favorite mangas, but definitely these are my favorites as of right now. Now, this list is in no particular order, but the first one I want to talk about today is The Promised Neverland. So I recently rewatched the first season of The Promised Neverland, and I just fell in love with it again. The first season is just so amazing that I had to go and read the rest, because I really heard that they butchered the second season, so I didn't even want to try getting there. So I decided to just pick up Promised Neverland, start reading it, and I'm truly in love with it. This is by far one of my favorites that I'm currently reading right now. As of right now, the recording this video, I'm about chapter 91, 92, I think, and I've been reading it online on the Shonen Jump app. But best believe, once Promised Neverland's box set is released, I'm picking that up. I'm definitely gonna showcase that on the channel. But Promised Neverland is a hard series to really discuss because it's so mysterious and there's such a big twist and everything is always happening all at once. Anything I give to you is going to be a spoiler. So the only thing I can recommend, if you've never heard of Promised Neverland, if you've never watched or anything like that, definitely just give the first episode a try. If you don't like the first episode of Promised Neverland, then you're not going to really like the rest of the series. But once you see the first episode of Promised Neverland, you're going to understand why I can't tell you anything. Just know that the main cast of Promised Neverland is these three group of kids. So it's these three orphans, which are Emma, Norman, and Ray. They're the main cast of characters in Promised Neverland, and the story essentially revolves around them. So because I can't really discuss too much about the Promised Neverland without giving out spoilers, I definitely just had to bring that out first, because that's something that I'm really enjoying. I love how mysterious it is, because the Promised Neverland, for me anyway, it's very thought-provoking. It's very mysterious. I don't know what's going to go on. It really is keeping me on my toes. So the fact that I'm, theorizing, oh, this could happen next, or this could happen next, and I'm not getting it right, and it just keeps me guessing, I definitely love that. So if you like slightly darker, mysterious series, check out Promised Neverland. I highly recommend it. The next series that I read that I'm truly in love with is Doubt. So I'm really in love with Doubt. I highly recommend this. This is a nice, great horror manga. And me personally, I wanted to get into more psychological horror type manga, but I couldn't really get into it. I tried a lot of Junji Ito stuff, didn't like it. But definitely Doubt, that was definitely it for me. I really do enjoy it. So if you haven't heard of Doubt, which is not uncommon because it's not really, one of those most well-known popular series, Doubt basically takes place with these group of friends who they've never met before, and they're playing this game where they have to find out who the imposter is among the friends. So for whatever reason, when these group of friends finally meet up for the first time, it turns out that one person in this group of friends, they want to play the game for real. So that means they have to find out who the killer is while their friends are getting killed. I think it's a group of like 6 or 7 of them, I believe. So it's about 6 or 7 of them. They all essentially get like kidnapped and then taken to a place, and there's a killer among them, and they have to find out who the killer is while one of them is getting picked off one by one. Doubt is very psychological thriller. It's almost like Saw in that sense, where it's these crazy things that you have to do to find out who the killer is, these crazy tasks that you have to complete to like get to the next stage and things like that to get answers, because there's clues to who the killer is, but the other people, they have to do these crazy things to find out those clues. I do know the mangaka of Doubt has other series, and I think they're out of print if I'm not mistaken. I think he has Judge and I think Secret that are similar to Doubt. I know they always have that bunny rabbit face. That's like the trademark of that series, or that, I guess, genre of his. But he's releasing a new one called Dead Company that's releasing later this year. So I'm highly anticipating that one because I can't wait to actually get involved into this, like, I guess, world that he's creating. So unfortunately, I don't think I'll ever truly get Judge or Secret because those are out of print. I don't really go for out of print series because they're just so expensive. I got volumes 1 and 2 of Doubt on Right Stuff, and that's the entire series. So these two just omnibus volumes, and it's an amazing, amazing read. If you like psychological thrillers, if you like mysteries, definitely pick this up because this is a nice horror manga for some of the older audience, I'll say, because this one does have a little bit older themes. If you're a youngin', definitely stick away from this one. Surprisingly, the next series that I'm in love with right now is one of my weekly manga reads, and that's One Piece. So obviously, this is just volume 1 of One Piece. This is nowhere near where I'm at right now. As far as One Piece, I've read everything. I'm currently up to date with the manga chapters. I read them weekly, and this arc that we're in right now is so good. I'm really in love with One Piece again. I honestly got tired of One Piece because of Wano. I'm one of those people that I hated Wano. I honestly think Wano is the worst arc in One Piece. I think it's just too long. It's too bloated. I don't think there's really any point of it besides obviously towards the ending when you see all of the crazy bombastic, moves and abilities that you see. I don't want to spoil nothing if you haven't finished Wano, if you're watching the anime right now. But for me personally, Wano was just way too long, way too bloated. It did not need to be any of that. And this new arc that we're in is just so refreshing. It's so good right now. I love the little hints that we're getting. I love the little pieces of lore that we're getting. Because One Piece is so long and the world is just giant, I love when they give us little lore aspects. Not necessarily the fights, but when they give us little drops of lore throughout the One Piece world, I really do love it. And this new arc that we're in right after Wano, it's definitely probably my favorite arc as of right now. Definitely not my favorite arc of One Piece. I don't think it'll ever get to that. I don't think this arc that we're currently in right now will ever be one of my favorite arcs, but it is just refreshing to not be in Wano anymore because I really did not like it. For me personally, my favorite arcs of One Piece is Dressrosa, Punk Hazard, and Thriller Bark. Those are just my favorite arcs of all time. I think that's when One Piece was at its peak. I'm not going to sit here and say that Wano was a bad arc because it definitely wasn't. It just wasn't for me. I think it was way too long, way too bloated. I did like some of the lore bits that we got from Wano, and obviously the fights in Wano, especially towards the ending. If you're watching the anime right now, you're in for a treat because the fights are going to be amazing. They're not going to disappoint you. But I think once we get past Wano, like next year, I think when the anime is going to finish for Wano, the breath of fresh air the next arc gives is just amazing for me, and that's why I'm really loving One Piece as of right now. The next series I love reading right now wasn't on my radar at all. I honestly saw this by watching one of the Omnibus Collector's videos, and that was when he introduced the first volume of Candy and Cigarettes. So he mentioned this volume, and this, I had to get it. An 11-year-old girl who's a fully trained assassin, that piqued my interest instantly. So I picked it up, and I really fell in love with it. I've been reading it as it comes out. I'm currently up to date. Right as of right now, there's only 3 volumes, and all 3 volumes are very good. I really do enjoy it. Now, I don't know how long the series is. I'm pretty much blind with this series. I've never read it online or anything like that. But I'm actually really enjoying Candy and Cigarettes. It really is good. The fact that you have this 11-year-old girl who's a fully trained assassin, and her partner is an older, like 60-year-old man who is a retired cop, and his job is just to take care of her and be her handler. It's just intriguing to me. It's super funny. And their relationship in general, I really do enjoy. And I think that's partly why I'm in love with this series so much, because it really feels like a granddaughter to a grandfather relationship where he really is starting to care about her, because she is a little girl. So he wants the best for her. He doesn't want her to get hurt. And he's always looking out for her. While at the same time, the little girl being an 11-year-old assassin, she never really had that love and affection that she's getting right now from this elderly man. And he didn't go into this relationship, wanting to play the part of her grandfather. It just so happened that she's that young, that immature, and she acts like a little girl. I think which is what really draws me to his character, is because she's not, a killing machine. She's really an average everyday girl who, when it's time for the missions, she just flips a switch and now she's on a rampage. I highly recommend Candy and Cigarettes because it's something that's nice and it's fun. It's like a buddy cop film, I guess, but because of the age gap and because of their dynamic, I think that's what really drives the story. Because if I'm being honest, the story is pretty standard. It's pretty not in, too crazy, too, unique, but it's the fact that it's like a 60-year-old man with an 11-year-old girl. That's what makes it fun. I definitely do recommend Candy and Cigarettes. It's actually a surprise how much I really do love this series. But I really think anyone who reads it, they're pretty much going to enjoy it. So definitely pick this up. So that's it. Those are some of my favorite manga series as of right now. I truly do love these series. They're so amazing. And these series specifically really rejuvenated my love for reading manga. I'm definitely going to read a ton more manga, especially now that I finally finished Dorohedoro. I can't wait to read that because I know I'm going to love it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new here, and you like my content, you like what I'm doing, consider subscribing, leaving a like, hit the bell so you don't post another video. Also, follow me on Twitter. Links will be in the description. That's it for the video. Let me know down in the comments what some series that you're in love with and what you're currently reading right now. This is your boy Just. I'm off this.